Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your channel for everything VR related. Today, we're going over all the new VR game releases planning to drop in the month of November, and this is an absolutely stacked list with big name titles like Forefront, Aces of Thunder, Deadpool, and of course, my most anticipated game, Battlemarked. There's everything from massive single player campaigns to 32 player online PvP, survival games, puzzle games, racing sims, RTS titles, a rhythm game, and even a series of mixed reality booby traps. Now there are of course links and timestamps if you want to skip ahead, but before we start this list, make sure to let me know any games you want me to cover or which titles you're most excited for down in the comments. But let's start today's list off with a port of the classic wingsuit game Rush. The PlayStation VR2 is getting the Rush Apex Edition, which includes fully remastered graphics, some new adaptive trigger and head haptic feedback, multiplayer support for up to 12 players, which is an increase from the previous 8, and they've also included some PlayStation 5 Pro enhancements. So if you ever wanted to experience flying in a wingsuit, but you also don't have a death wish, this is probably the best way to try it. But if you're more of a single player campaign person, we're also getting Lies of Rain, which some people are calling the next Half-Life Alyx. Now previously this game has released a demo and an early access version, but the full release is now coming to all platforms. This is a beautiful looking, story-driven first-person shooter set in this unique dystopian world where you battle for humanity's survival on the edge of reality. Now I've personally been waiting for the full release to jump into this, and I'll do my best to cover this game, but then again, let me know down in the comments which games you prefer for me to cover. And on that note, I'm not sure how well my audience will respond to Laser Dance, but I'm definitely down for a fun mixed reality experience, especially one that we could play in a party style manner, passing the headset around. Now Laser Dance will turn your real life room into an increasingly more intricate laser grid pattern that you have to navigate through. Now if you're an old dude like me, you're either imagining that movie scene with Catherine Zeta-Jones, or the laser grid from Resident Evil, where people get diced into pieces. Either way, I don't think Laser Dance is going to be quite as dramatic, but I still definitely want to try this one out because it looks like a lot of fun. Now, speaking of games being fun, our next title is Forefront, which many of us already know is an absolute blast. This 32-player, Battlefield-style online PvP is just once again some more masterclass coming from Triangle Factory. This is the same studio that previously gave us Hyperdash and Breachers, so between their proven track record and the success of the alpha and betas, we're about to have VR's next big PvP on our hands. But I constantly hear from people that they're sick of shooters in VR. So how does a space-themed real-time strategy game sound instead? Battlegroup VR2 is coming in the near future, and this is the sequel to a game that absolutely blew me away. Not only are you in the cockpit of your very own spaceship, watching a massive battle unfold around you, but you also have a virtual console that allows you to control the fleet. The original title was a serious battle of skill, forcing you to micromanage your team and utilizing their specific skills for optimal performance. Now that can include everything from a ship's maneuverability, the specific payload they carry being more efficient against certain enemies, or having pilots with special abilities that can quickly turn the tide of battle. Now the sequel is also introducing a new open world, a conquest mode, and an endless combat mode. And on top of that, we still have all the deep customization that includes everything from the ships we bring to battle and the captains helping to control our fleet. There's a huge level of customization here, and the addition of a leveling system on your captains is a really nice touch, as you do become attached to those pilots, or maybe a bit more to the special abilities that they learn over time. Either way, I'm expecting some really big things from this sequel. Now next up, we have another truly unique title with Thrasher finally making its way onto PCVR. This is a wild audio-visual experience that sort of plays like a futuristic version of Snake. This game comes from the same composers and artists as the title Thumper, but unfortunately I just didn't enjoy the gameplay as much, as I struggled with the controls a bit, and the game would occasionally frustrate me, unlike how I would find myself in the groove when I played Thumper. Now regardless of my opinion, I know plenty of people still really love this game, so you might want to check out the PCVR demo that's currently available. Now sticking with unique audio-visual experiences, we have Lumines Aries. Lumines was originally a puzzle title similar to Tetris, and now it's getting the Tetris effect treatment and being turned into a mind-blowing audio-visual experience. Now, as odd as it might sound, I still play Tetris Effect about once a week, and it's a great experience for everything from just chilling out all the way to truly challenging yourself. So I'm going to put Lumines Aries on my ever-growing list of must-try games. Now, our next title I've actually tried, the early access version from a very long time ago. Now, I'm talking about the PvP title, Glassbreakers Champions of Moss, which is a massive new direction for the studio Polyarch. The studio's well known for the absolutely amazing puzzle platformer series Moss Book 1 and 2, but now they're trying something completely different with a competitive squad-based fighting game. Now you get to build up a roster of champions from the Moss universe, all of which have unique abilities and different roles they could play in the battlefield. And then after putting together a team of 3 members, you could go fight in 1v1, 2v2, or 1v2 matches against real-life players or the game's AI. Now, don't go in expecting something like Smash Brothers. This plays a lot more like a MOBA or RTS game where you have to micromanage your team and they'll continually level up as they fight it out. But I promised you guys lots of different genres, so now we're moving into survival games with tracked shoot to survive. Now, this is from the same studio that gave us Green Hell, but this time we're going to be stranded in the Canadian wilderness after our plane gets shot down by some ruthless drug smugglers. So not only are you going to have to survive the elements, build shelter, hunt and scavenge for food, but you're also going to have to bring the battle straight to those drug smugglers as they've kidnapped your sister. So overall, it's a pretty dark twist for a survival game, and I'm definitely feeling it. And sticking with mature themed games, we're also getting Marvel's Deadpool VR. Coming from Twisted Pixel, the same studio that gave us excellent games such as Defector and Wilson's Heart, but Deadpool VR will be their first title after being acquired by Meta. Thanks to some of that Meta money, we can expect a large, flashy, high-budget, action-filled campaign. I've already tried a 30-minute demo, which absolutely left me wanting more, so this is another game that I have some really high hopes for. Just like our next title, Battlemarked. This is an official collaboration between Resolution Games and Dungeons & Dragons. Their original tabletop RPG game, Demio, is getting a licensed D&D makeover that extends way beyond just the graphics. There's now a story-driven campaign playable in both single-player and multiplayer modes, and it's set on the D&D continent of Faerun, or more specifically, in the Neverwinter Woods region. So it's basically playing Demio with a full storyline, plus characters, enemies, locations, lore, plus character leveling system pulled right from the Dungeons & Dragons source material. As of right now, this is my most anticipated game of 2025, even after being slightly disappointed by the demo. But if board games aren't for you, how does a trippy, room-scale puzzler sound instead? Hotel Infinity allows you to explore the impossible by utilizing a combination of room-scale movement and non-Euclidean geometry. So you will physically walk around these environments, but the dimensions won't always match what they're supposed to. Something like a small closet door can lead into an infinite hallway. Now there's also a series of challenging puzzles that also utilize some of these mechanics. So if you're looking for a mind-bending, trippy exploration/puzzle title, I would definitely put this one on your wish list. Now a title that's already on my wish list is Aces of Thunder, which plans to deliver the ultimate VR dogfighting experience. It's coming with an action-packed single-player campaign where you'll pilot through a series of unique challenges, all set during World War II. This includes things like escorting bombers or engaging in specialized airstrikes. Now, it's been a long time since I jumped into a flying VR game, so I'm ready to jump into the cockpit of all 20 different World War II fighter planes that Aces of Thunder has to offer. Now, our next game is for the PlayStation VR2 owners who are looking for a good VR shooter. The classic title Zero Caliber is not only getting ported to the PlayStation VR2, but it's also getting a full remaster. It offers up an excellent old school Call of Duty style campaign that's playable in both single player modes and co-op, plus a huge array of weapons and unlockables that'll keep you grinding out gear in this title for quite some time. Now, continuing to stick to my promise of unique genres, we also have a racing game dropping. Project Motor Racing is coming to Steam and trying to take the title of VR's best racing sim. There's multiple gameplay modes, including a single-player career, online racing, in-game events, plus a 4-class race experience. Project Motor Racing has been meticulously designed to not only recreate the cars and tracks, but also their physics and steering. Now, personally, I'm not much of a racing fan, but I do hope the game's successful because PCVR does need something to compete with GT7. And last up on today's list, we have a game that I absolutely love making its way onto Steamvr. The tower defense title, Iron Guard Salvation, is currently available on the Meta Quest, and it's a sequel to the original game Iron Guard. It had an excellent reception and is currently sitting at 4.7 stars, a rating that is easy for me to agree with. Overall, it's just a really cool and strategic tower defense game with tons of content and replayability. So if you have any interest in tower defense games, I highly recommend you check it out. And that right there was today's list. Now there's always the chance we might get a few more surprises this month, or maybe there's even a few things I'm not allowed to talk about yet. Regardless, that was today's video, and if you enjoyed it, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, consider subscribing, and as always, I'll see you guys on next time.